I'm shaking my head. I don't know what else to do. This was the way the road trip began in New York. An excellent first half, a pathetic second half, and the Kings lose 112-105. I don't know what else to say. Awful. Ryan, can you hear me, buddy? You're frozen
Yeah,
right now. Okay.
I got you.
We're good. Ryan, live by the three, die by the three. That's
Amen.
the first thing I'm going to say. Okay. The 3-point shooting completely disappeared. And the assist to turnover ratio was not good in this game. What do we always talk about with this team? We
3 to
talk
1.
about assist to turnovers, right?
Yep.
22-17, terrible. And we talk about 3-point shooting. First half, great. Second half, horrible. And we talk about the third quarter, right, Ryan? In the third quarter, the Kings came out and they got steamrolled. They got
Yes.
steamrolled.
Well,
I mean, how does that happen, Ryan?
yeah, Napes, they put a little run together to respond. They go into the fourth with the lead, but yeah, they came out flat. And I don't know, the coaching in the third quarter for me left a little to be desired, because this isn't really the time of year that you figure it out. This is the time of year you call timeouts. If you think you might have a chance at the 6th seed, you might have a chance at the 7. So tough
Well,
one,
guess
Grant.
what? There's no chance for the 6th seed now. It ain't happening.
No, it's gone. Yeah. And Grant, I'll pose it to you because you said it perfectly. Live by the 3, die by the 3. These were the Kings' closing 5 possessions. Missed 3, missed 3, missed 3, turnover, missed 3.
I don't understand it, Ryan. I mean, I guess I'm contradicting myself. I do understand it because we've been talking about that really for the last 2 seasons with this team.
Yeah.
They can't beat you any other way. Are they a better defensive team? Yes, they are. But you know what, Ryan? The bench did absolutely nothing in the second half. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, Grant, if you look at what the bench did in the first half, it was hardly anything too. You only got points from Davion Mitchell. It was the starters.
Yep.
This game was won and lost by your starters. They came out in the first half full of fire. Second half, much to be desired.
Is this, and I said the same thing after the Celtics game and the Knicks game. Is this just, is what we're watching right now, particularly this game, the Jekyll and Hyde from quarter to quarter, from half to half? Is this just a microcosm of the entire season, Rhino?
Tonight's game wasn't, to me, a microcosm, and I could see how you could say it was. It's a good question. This, to me, was a first half of the season game for the Kings. This was not a second half of the season game. They took more threes in this game than they've taken any game this season. So when you live by it, you're going to die by it too, Grant.
58 threes.
Yeah, and when you're not getting points from your bench and you're not, Grant, here's the thing we're not talking about, the free throw line. The Kings cannot get to the free throw line when it matters.
Nope. And when they get to the free throw line, especially in crunch time, they're missing them. They missed 7 tonight. Now, in all fairness, Oklahoma City missed 8. So, that kind of evened it out. But all right, so let's look at the big picture right now, okay? The big picture is you are coming home on a 1-3 road trip, okay?
Yep.
You only have 1 day off, and you take on New Orleans, who is ahead of you in the standings, and they own the tiebreaker, and they play tonight against Portland. So right now the Kings are 2 games back in the loss column with New Orleans. If New Orleans wins tonight, okay?
Yep.
And I think they will. They're in Portland, although they've been sketchy. Then you're looking at playing basketball. Now,
yeah.
The one thing that could save you is if the Suns lose to the Clippers tonight and you're able to beat the Suns. But the problem with that is New Orleans may slide into the 6th spot. 6 right now with 3 games left. You absolutely 100% have to go 3-0. That's just that. And get some help.
In the back-to-back that you talked about, do we have any confidence that the Kings are going to pull that off, especially this late in the season? It's really hard to say. And Grant, what were your thoughts on that final, or the play that mattered with SGA? He's not called for traveling. There's no foul call offensively. Did they get it wrong?
they got it wrong, and we'll see it in the last 2-minute report, just like they
Again.
got the call in the Boston game wrong
Yeah.
on Jones, who should have been going to the line. Same story, just a different game. Hey, what also is the same story is the great job that New Works Plumbing does for your plumbing needs and repairs. If you go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen, they'll be there for you with their 24/7 service. They are awesome at what they do. And I really appreciate the feedback that we get from the people that have used them and have mentioned that to me. Thank you very much. That's New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They don't have a fix for the Kings, though. 1-3 on this road trip. And we are really seeing the effect of no punch from the bench without Malik Monk. You just don't have it.
You know what, Grant? I don't. Yes. Overall, we are. I can't put tonight on that, though. Davion Mitchell gave you well enough of a punch. You got Colby Jones that, although he didn't make a big impact scoring wise, played good minutes for Mike Brown. So it's better than we thought it could be.
We're talking about basically the sixth man of the year. We're not talking about Colby Jones. We're not talking about Davion Mitchell. We're talking about a guy that's probably going to win the sixth man of the year.
Yep. Nope. You're absolutely right. Very good point. Hey, we want to get you guys in on the show tonight as all. Grant, now you have somebody we have, by the way, if you didn't know, on the pregame show, we have the prescriber now. So the prescriber gives us our orders for the day, whatnot, but you have the transition caller now? He loads a transition into his question?
I don't even know what to say to that, you know?
I've heard him the past 2 shows I haven't been on, Napes. You're like, what a transition. He worked Gold Country into a take. I mean, Napes looks
at the crowd and says, take that.
He was just like, take that. Anyways, all right, we want to get you guys in on the action. I think we had a little freeze there. Napes didn't get all of it. Hey, Dash, welcome into If You Don't Like That. You're on with Grant Napear.
Hey guys, how's it going? I have a few things to say today. You were speaking of microcosms of the season. The amount of times we've given up big leads coming into the third quarter. That's a microcosm of the season. Turnovers coming out of a timeout in clutch situations. Seen that, been there, done that. But they say habits become characters, and the habit of this team, which is not its character, is the fact that in the last 10 games, we are the team with the lowest points in the paint. So live by the 3, die by the 3, as you said. But it's not just that. It's what kind of threes are you taking, right? 102, 102. We come, miss 3, OKC, 2-pointer. Alice hits a 3. And then Holmgren gets in the paint again, gets a foul, right? And then we come out and Keegan takes that 3 in the corner, fading away with a hand in his face with a second left. Horrible 3 again, right? Still a tight game. Fox comes down with 12 seconds left on the clock, one-on-one possession, 0 movement, 0 passes on this possession. Pulls up a 3, right? Again, missed. So it's not only that you're missing 3s, it's like those are not the 3s you should be taking when it's 105, and you're the fastest player in the league. And Fox is great, right? He played great. But in those situations, it doesn't matter.
You're 100% correct. Fox took 17 threes in this game and missed 10 of them. If you're having one of those games like he had in the first half, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with it when he couldn't put the ball in the freaking ocean in the second half. Horrible shot selection by De'Aaron Fox, not only once, but on several occasions, particularly in the fourth quarter. Terrible. I mean, absolutely terrible.
And the only other point I'll make, and then I'll let somebody else come, is a couple of things. Harrison Barnes, I feel like at this point, I don't know what's happened this season. Almost a liability. He's 249th in PER, amongst the likes of Malachi Flynn and Peyton Watson and Jerry Vanderbilt. Some of the names I pulled, none of them are starting for a contending team, right? Peyton Watson plays in Denver, but he's not.
You know what's funny? You know what's interesting about that? Of all of the starters, okay, he had the second best plus minus. Okay, and it's just amazing. We talk about him so much, but then you look at his plus minus, which, by the way, is not always a true telltale stat game to game. That's a better number over a period of games. But it's just interesting. Very often when we talk about Barnes and then you look at his numbers, his plus minus is always very good, and it's kind of puzzling to me.
Napes, look at how many times he got to the free throw line tonight. That's it right there.
Yeah,
I will
that
also say
great
this: he
point.
did make a big three when we were bleeding, and he was aggressive going in the paint 2 possessions in a row, which I did appreciate. I just wish he did more of it, like he did do for us,
Yep.
last season. And then lastly, we always said this team is going to go as far as Keegan's development. Grant, we've had the big men, great passers before. With the CU Vladi days, but what made them special was when they got that ball at the elbow, the defense had to honor them and stick up to them. If we're going to be a great team, I really do think Sabonis doesn't have to be as good of a shooter as them from the elbow, but he has to be a threat at least, so he can use his dribble movement because he doesn't have all the post moves to just be a post player. He's a great passer. He's a great dribbler. So he has to at least have the defense respect him enough to be up close on him where he can then get to the post and have a better looking shot
Yeah.
going into the post. So those are just
By
some
the
of the
way,
things. But
yeah,
go ahead.
this did you see the score at the end of the first quarter in Phoenix? Do you know the Clippers
No.
are beating the Suns 37-10 at
Wow.
the end of one quarter? No, wait a minute. The Clippers are leading the Suns 37-10 at the end of the first quarter. Think about that for a minute. That's a huge game, obviously. 37-10. The NBA.
Gotta love
How
it.
about that?
Gotta
Crazy
love it.
How
season.
about that?
What
And by
was
the
the
way, everyone's playing for Phoenix. It's not like they have players out.
Yeah.
37-10. The Suns were 2 of 19. 2 of 19 in the first quarter. How about that?
See, but guys, that's what's scary because what you just said, it's this NBA that can turn around just like that.
Yeah.
And they play again tomorrow in LA.
Interesting. Hey, we really, really appreciate the call, Dash. You always bring it. Love the notes, dude. Keep it up.
Hey,
Take
thank
care,
you very
guys.
much, Dash. Really do appreciate it. We also appreciate Bennett's and their great seafood and steak, prime seafood and steak at Bennett's. The West Side Grill is the newest of the 3 locations at the Blue Oaks Town Center in Rockland. Don't forget about Roseville and Sacramento. If you go to bennettsrestaurants.com, you can make a reservation and more special events. And of course, the weekend brunch, the weekend prime rib, 60 different types of wine available by the glass. Just go to bennettsrestaurants.com. So, yeah, the Kings lose tonight, and they've got the Suns, which how big is that game looking to be right now? I mean, I'm not going to
Big.
say that the game is over, but down 27 against the Clippers, you're probably not going to win that game. I'll tell you what else is interesting in a game like that. If I'm Phoenix, okay, I'm about 5 minutes away from pulling every starter out
Amen.
and telling them to, relax.
Why
and
wouldn't you?
Yeah, you right.
Especially a team that practices or has practiced rest management in the past with some of their players. So I'm with you, especially to see that same team tomorrow. So well stated by
Unbelievable.
you. How big would it have been if the Kings hung on though tonight? That would have been so much bigger. Dirk, Zach, we see you, but first we bring in Evan. Evan, welcome to the postgame show on If You Don't Like That.
Hi guys.
What's up, man?
Hi.
I just thought Fox and Sabonis need to get in the paint more, take more shots in there. Sabonis scored, it felt like 5 points tonight. I don't know. It's just kind of a rough one for them shooting.
Sure was. I mean, Sabonis was just tangled in foul trouble so much of the game, and he was so ineffective. I mean, and he turned the ball over. He was ineffective. He just was. He didn't have a good game.
Yeah, it felt like every time Shea got in the paint, he was getting a foul called, and I don't know if Fox got in the paint at all the fourth quarter. So,
by the way, Sabonis only ends up with 8 points in this game, so his double streak is over.
Comes to an end. Only the 5th game this season he has not had a double-double.
Yep.
So, Evan, we appreciate the call. Thank you so much for chiming in about Sabonis.
Well, he only took
thanks.
7 shots in 34 minutes, guys. Ryan, what about that? So he played 34 minutes and only took 7 shots.
I think it was, you know what? I'm freezing.
And he had
up.
6 turnovers. He had 6 turnovers.
6 turnovers. Yeah, Grant, I said it at the end of the first half. I think it was a product of the game plan. I think that they need Sabonis more involved. You need to find a way to get him more shots, but they were trying to spray because of the inside presence that the Thunder typically have, first in the NBA in blocks.
Yep. And here's one. It says Shea's game is going to the free throw line. It is a big part of his game. You know, it is a really big part of his game. I think that we have to recognize that. First of all, today, I think he's the best point guard in the NBA.
Yeah. Are you on board? I know we've talked about this. I think he's the MVP this year, too.
I do, too. This game didn't matter. What do you mean it didn't matter?
I think we had somebody being a little bit of a troll. I saw the chat patrolling it. But let's go back to that conversation about SGA. Obviously, Fox, still a superstar. He had a great game from beyond the arc. But how big is the separation between these two, Grant?
Between Monk and what?
Between Fox and SGA. You just saw him face off tonight. The separation, both stars, but SGA is just cut above.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll answer the question this way. If you had 30 general managers in the room, including Monty McNair, and you said, would you rather have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or would you rather have De'Aaron Fox? All 30 would take SGA. That's number one.
Yeah.
I give SGA a check mark in a couple of categories. First of all, he's a better overall player, number one. Number two, he has the intangibles that I look for, check mark, in a point guard. I don't see the intangibles that I need to have from my quote unquote franchise player who I'm paying a max deal to. So I think I answered the question that way. Now, here's what we don't know about SGA, which we do know about Fox. And it's a small sample size, but
yeah,
that's all we have to go on. When the playoffs began last year and Fox was in the playoffs for the first time, he was a superstar. This will be SGA's first playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. How will he perform? Not all regular season guys that are all-stars perform that way in the postseason. Sacramento knows all about that. There was a guy by the name of Chris Webber who was nowhere near the player in the postseason that he was in the regular season. Then you have the other extreme where you have the Robert Ory's of the world, okay? So I think SGA will be great in the playoffs, but I don't know. It's a different animal. But again, if you had all 30 general managers and you asked them who would they want, every single one of them would take SGA.
Yeah, he just screams old basketball soul, too. He's just a guy you want to listen to, be next to. So good things from him. But I'm with you. I think the GMs would be all over SGA as well. Now, his playoff success, I think that's going to matter more on the guys around him because obviously you can get the ball out of his hands. How's Holmgren going to do? How's Dort going to do? Williams going to do?
Now, I didn't say that the Kings overpaid for Fox. I didn't say that. You say, I guess that is a legit question right now. The Kings had no choice. Okay. Regardless of whether you think they overpaid or not, it wasn't anything that they had to really sit back and think that long about. They had to do it. Okay. I didn't say Fox isn't a good player. Did you hear me say that? I didn't say that. I just said he's not Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Fox is still a very good talent and a very good player, but he's not SGA. That's what I said. I didn't say anything other than that.
There you go. Dirk, welcome into If You Don't Like That. You're on with Grant and Rano.
Hey, guys. Long time
What's
no
up, man?
talk.
How
Grant,
are you?
You're speaking some truth. I do agree SGA is the MVP. And while Fox might not be SGA caliber, I will say he brought it. I agree second half, he had some struggles there. I put a big part of this on Sabonis. Yes, he got you rebounds. As the games get more critical, you're going to notice Sabonis shrink away a little bit and make a lot more mistakes. This is true of his time in Indiana, and it's true now. I'm happy he's here. I'm happy we have this team we have. I mean, it's a winning team for in the 10th winning team we've had in 35 years. I know we're all trying to piece this puzzle together on what it takes to be a championship contender. It's not like De'Aaron Fox doesn't know how to shoot in the paint. We saw that last year, how effective he was. I think we're seeing the limitations of the team. And we know this team peaks at 3 in a really weird year, but is probably closer to where they are right now against the scope of the Western Conference. So
the Kings are nowhere near a championship level team compared to the teams in the West. I shouldn't say nowhere near, but they're significant. They need a significant move to catch up with the teams that right now are currently in the top 4. And there are other teams that are coming up that are right around them. Like I think New Orleans might have a better future right now than Sacramento. Houston is up and coming. San Antonio with Wemby is going to be pretty dangerous in 2 years from now. So
quick follow up on that, Grant.
Yeah,
why
go
is
ahead.
New Orleans not a better team right now? If you look at that line, I mean, we see how effective they are against Sacramento, and I talked to my peers.
Injuries.
Yes.
But their roster is stacked.
Injuries.
Okay. I think the Kings are a small forward away. I think how much growth you've seen in Keegan. Could he grow, make that same growth chart, like improve? Let's say he develops the ability to get his own high percentage shot consistently. Keon Ellis has been great. I just think he needs to be better in transition when he gets the steals to make better decisions on fast breaks because he gets a lot of steals. If he can score reliably in transition, I think he can fit your 2 spot. So you get an athletic 3 and that to replace Harrison Barnes. And I think the team improves a lot. I could see, you need a lot of things to happen to make that occur. But we need a third guy, like to be De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis are at peak a 50 win combination.
So
in
Dirk,
any structure.
Dirk, really
ahead,
quick. Thanks, Ips. I don't disagree with some of the things you're saying, and I think it's a little bit early still because we got basketball left in this season. But before the Kings do any of that, I think they have to figure out what is their identity. Who are they? And I don't think Coach Brown can answer that. It's changed all year.
Great
I don't think
point.
the players can answer that. It's changed all year. I mean, the
Great
moves
point.
they've made have been consistent with what would be a defensive team, but offense
Great
is the
point.
focus. So until that's answered, I think they can't move forward.
Great point. Right now, what they are is a 3-point shooting team, and we can stop right there. That's what they are. And we saw perfect example tonight. In the first half, they shot the ball at a very high clip, and they had a 19-point lead. In the second half, they couldn't put the ball in the ocean, and they almost lost the lead before the fourth quarter began. And then they lost the lead as soon as the fourth quarter did begin, and they ended up losing the game by 7. So there's no other way they can beat you. That's the problem with the Kings. On nights when their 3 is not falling, they can't beat you. They just can't.
Can I get one more question in for you guys?
Sure.
All right. So concerning Mike Brown, I understand Mike Brown to be an excellent game planner and he can really establish a defense. The criticism of Mike Brown I've heard is he doesn't make adjustments. And I feel like maybe we're relying too much on Fox and Sabonis maybe to dictate some of the offense really late. Do you think we could get an assistant coach that would help with adjustments and maybe some control over late game offensive decisions? Could that be impactful? Have you ever heard of a coach having that sort of impact on a team?
Napes?
Either Grant's frozen or my question is just that good.
We got
man.
Napes frozen.
Think it hard.
So Napes, you there? We got you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. We lost transmission here for a minute, but I'm back. I heard his question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, that was it. Go. Perfect.
He's speechless, guys. I've done it. Grant Napear is speechless.
Holy, how did you?
Looks at the crowd and says, "Take that."
Take that, crowd. Napes is frozen right now. Let's get him down for a second. He will be back on. To answer your question really quick, I don't know that you can do that. I think that we've seen teams have trouble doing that when you have too many bosses and not enough workers. So to me, I think that you got to be straight and you got to have a coach that can do what you want them to do, but he also has to have the tools to be able to coach the way he wants to coach. Napes, we got your back.
Yep, back. As far as Mike Brown goes, he's the coach. He's ultimately going to be responsible for whether this team wins or he doesn't win. But I think that we should table this until we're done with these next 3 games and a possible playoff series. Because the reality is, if the Kings were to win the play-in and then win in the playoffs in the first round, we would have a completely different tone to this. So I think we got to get through this week. The season's not over, okay? The season's not over. And there are 3 huge games left to determine whether you're going to be 6, 7, or 8. 6 is probably not going to happen, but 7 or 8 is going to happen. And the question is, are you going to be 7 or are you going to be 8? That's the most likely scenario. And so I don't know about everyone else. I get the fact that after a loss, you want to talk about, the future and the coach, and I'm okay with that, but maybe we ought to wait a week. All right, I want to tell you about Gold Country Veterinarian Hospital, located in Auburn, serving the Foothills, Roseville, and the greater Sacramento area. Full service, they do medicine, dentistry, surgery, and wellness care. They are dedicated to urgent care. Here's the bottom line, folks. When your pet needs to be seen, they're available. They have advanced internal medicine, full surgical care. They have the most modern technology, and they are very proud of their pain management protocols, and it maximizes faster recovery for their surgical and dental patients. Remember, when your pet needs to be seen, they're available. Gold Country Veterinarian Hospital. And I apologize for a couple of mishaps on the internet, but I don't control the internet. And I wish I could control how the Kings played in the second half on this road trip, in the New York game and the game tonight, because it was awful.
Yeah, tough to swallow. I hate that you laid out how the road trip could have been, because just a couple points here, a couple points there. We're talking about a whole different story, Napes.
Yep. All right, let's get to some calls, huh?
Let's do it. I don't know what he's got in store for tonight, but we bring him in anyways. Condog 209, what's up, man?
It's been a long time, Ryan.
I know. Good to see you.
Yeah, I told Grant this, but March Madness takes my attention, so I can't really comment on Kings games if I'm not watching.
Fair enough. I like that.
But tonight, the Kings are getting a lot of help from the Clippers and Blazers right now. We're getting a lot of help, and we did not take advantage.
Well, the Suns Clippers game is probably over. Okay, so I'm going to concede that game. The Suns are going to lose tonight. It's only a 7-point game in Portland. It's 51-44. So, it's a little bit early to start handicapping that one. But the Suns are going to lose. They're not coming back from 36 against the Clippers.
Yeah, I agree. It's not over. But
now it's 50. Now it's 51-45. Now Portland is leading New Orleans. So, again, let's wait and see. The problem is you shouldn't have to rely on other teams right now to help you. You need to go out and win some games. And the Kings had a horrible road trip record-wise. Probably played better than the record shows, but they had a horrible first half, horrible second half in the first game, and a horrible second half in the fourth game. Horrible.
And considering this team is amazing on the road this year, during the Knicks game, I heard them say, the Kings road record is as good as the Knicks home record.
Yep.
At that time. Yeah, this is an amazing road team, and we faltered on the road. And this game, there was a lot of bad passes from Ellis to Sabonis that got turned over, Fox to Sabonis that got turned over, careless, no-look passes, like they're Patrick Mahomes, but, but they're not.
Well, it was sloppy. It was a very sloppy second half. I think we all acknowledge that. I mean, the second half tonight was horrible. I'm trying to find a positive. I can't find any positive.
And I guess the question that we haven't answered, Grant and Con, is: did the Thunder win this game, or did the Kings lose this one?
No. Kings.
Where does it fall?
Away. No, we threw this game away. Right. I could start quoting Dennis Green, the old Cardinals coach, if we let him off the hook.
We let him off the hook.
Again, this team's very reliant on threes. Look, sometimes they play like a pickup basketball team where they just start chucking threes, seeing if it goes in or not. And that's just not how you're going to win in the NBA sometimes.
Again, the Kings are who they are. We've been saying this all year. They're a very inconsistent team. And on nights, they're going to look great. And other nights, they're going to look bad. In halves, they're going to look great. In the other half in the same game, they're going to look bad. That's who They are, and I'm going to be, there are a couple of things that bother me about this game. This may be your first round matchup, and Oklahoma City now has got a lot of confidence that no matter what happens, they can win. Now, I still think Sacramento's probably confident that they could beat Oklahoma City, but in the 2 wins that the Thunder have against the Kings this year, SGA has dominated De'Aaron Fox. Okay, dominated him. Now I know Fox's numbers were good tonight, but SGA was better. And in the last game, he killed Fox.
8-4 career against De'Aaron Fox. 8-4.
I didn't even know that. Good numbers right there.
We're just gonna have a problem with those guys. Jalen Brunson gives us trouble like that. Guys that get to the line, SGA, guys like that, they're just giving us trouble, and we're terrible at getting to the line. Even when we're in the bonus before them, we still refuse to drive to the basket and get those calls.
Frustrating.
Yeah,
it's tough. Yeah,
frustrating. Corn Dog, thank you, buddy.
All right,
appreciate it. That's the thing that would scare me the most about. That's the thing that would bother me the most, Ryan.
Yeah.
Is SGA in the playoffs, because he has already shown he's better than your best player in Fox. Just like Curry, the reason why the Warriors won last year, we saw what Curry did in Game 7, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we know that blitzing a player like that does not work for the Kings defensively. We've seen it as recent as this road trip. Mike Brown, Grant. Brown, I dropped the fat drop on you because you called corn dog again.
I know.
Are we having some diet issues, Napes? Are you keeping it tight?
You know what? I hate corn dogs. Never had them when I went to the fair at Cal Expo or as a kid. I'm not a corn dog guy. So no, absolutely
garbage.
Not.
That's garbage food, Napes. Bad food. Mike Gundy agrees with you. But Mike Brown taking some tonight in the post-game press conference. He's saying, and I'm going off of a couple reports here, that the Kings passed up open shots tonight from beyond the arc. Well, he expanded on that.
Mike Brown's not watching the same game that I'm watching.
And so that's the disconnect between the fan base, the team, because again, just on this same road trip, Mike Brown talked about that style of basketball is gone. You can't win in the playoffs that way. You got to have 115 points and make free throws. And so to a degree, I mean, have you seen more mixed signals sent to a team, a stable team in a 2-year period?
Here's my experience of, and I don't know Mike Brown, so I'm going to preface it by saying that, but I've been around a lot of coaches. And sometimes when you do a post-game press conference after a tough loss, you're not really even that conscious of what you're saying. You're just trying to answer the question so you can get the hell into the shower, get dressed, and get to the airplane. So I would like the coach to be more careful with his comments, not to be contradictory on the same road trip.
Sure.
But I also understand that sometimes this is just the necessary evil of being shouldn't say evil. It's the necessary aspect of doing the job that you have to do. And I think Mike does pretty well on his post-game press conferences.
I agree.
But at times you just want to get the hell out of there. And sometimes you're going to answer a question and you're going to get on the bus or on the plane. You go, gee, man, what the hell was I saying? I didn't mean that. You know what I mean? It happens.
Yeah, no,
so
totally.
Yeah.
And he's got a really, I feel like, a very conversational rapport with the fan base.
Yes, he
does. He'll be real with you. So he'll clean that up or give you some additional thoughts at the next practice.
Hey, you know what? Amen. You're 100% correct about that. I want to tell you about Blazona Development and Sunrise Landing. And if you go to CalusaSunrise.com, you can check out their beautiful models, 6 in all to choose from. No Melrose, no homeowners, close to I-5, Highway 20. And so it's in a great location in beautiful Calusa. And again, Sunrise Landing is awesome. Go to CalusaSunrise.com. That is CalusaSunrise.com. And check it out. That is Sunrise Landing. Again, go to CalusaSunrise.com. Baki, stop with the messages. Thank you. All right. It's very distracting when I'm in the middle of reading a Baki, we love you, but don't DM me in the middle of the show. All right. Okay. That's my little mini rant for the day.
Yeah, let's get that out of the system. Over the shoulder. We're good to go. Baki, we're still going to come to you in a second.
Yes,
That's all right.
Yes, we are.
Zach, thanks for waiting. You're on with Grant Napear.
Hey, okay, I gotta be honest. Like, you guys probably won't agree with what I'm gonna say, but I don't really care.
Love it.
So you guys say that SGA is the best point guard in the league?
I think he is this year.
Okay, I think that's fair. But I'm just saying, like, if I have to look at like overall or like going forward through like the next 3 years, I mean, there's 4 or 5 other guards I'd rather have. I think Dame, because like, how can we forget about what Damian Lillard?
You want to take Damian Lillard over Shea
Morant,
Alexander? Now
Luka,
you're on
Curry.
freaking drugs. Stop it. I would take Luka maybe over SGA, but right now there's no other point guard in the league that I would take. I wouldn't take Brunson over him. I wouldn't take Fox over him. Damian Lillard, are you out of freaking mind?
No, I'm serious.
Go stop it.
I'm not kidding. I mean,
okay,
Still has at least a couple more years.
Zach. Well, who else is on the list? Let's move off Dame. Who else?
Kyrie, Morant, Luka, and Curry at his age.
I wouldn't take Kyrie because you don't know if he's going to show up for every game and he's going to disappear and say he needs a week off, or he's going to go and say stupid things and get himself in trouble and be a major distraction for the team. I'm never taking Kyrie Irving ahead of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander because he's a mental case.
Like, I totally get it from that perspective, like as far as like off court stuff. But I'm just saying as an overall talent on the basketball court. Because I feel like people are forgetting about what Morant.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not just about talent on the basketball court when you're the quarterback of a team like SGA or DM. It's everything. It encompasses everything. It encompasses how you handle yourself in the locker room. It encompasses how you deal with the media. It encompasses your body language on the court. It encompasses, do you make the other players around you better? It's not just like one little thing. It's everything, okay? And Kyrie Irving has too many issues in that department. Now, I know he's won a championship and he was great when they did win the championship, and I'm never going to take that away from him, but you can't count on the guy if you're a teammate of his. I mean, it's pretty obvious. All you got to do is look at his past history. The guy's a malcontent. So, but Damian Lillard, please, come on.
But I will agree, SGA does have all the intangibles you want in a leader. So I will give you that. Like, I love SGA as a person. I'm just saying, I think there's just a few other guards that are still more talented than SGA. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, talent is great,
different, yeah.
But yeah, we're not. So
yeah.
Hey, Zach, appreciate it, buddy.
Okay.
Ready to get to Baki?
I am ready to get to Baki, Napes. You know what? I appreciate that take from Zach, even though it was way off base. At least he's bringing it.
Well, let's ask Baki if he would take Damian Lillard right now over Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Would you take Dame over SGA right now?
No.
That was a quick answer.
Hold on. Let's test and make sure that he's lucid. Are you going to DM Grant again during a show?
No. First of all, I apologize because I didn't know the system is working anyway. So I just tried to DM to ask, what about the stream? Is it working or not? So excuse me.
No problem. What can we do for you, buddy? What's the problem with this team in the second half, man?
So if I tell you, I need to kill you. So,
oh my God,
people, great job. I mean, when you see the player with that much talent doing things that he's doing, you just ask yourself, is it worth staying every night hoping you're gonna see them win? I mean, I want you to understand me here. I'm not one of those fans just cheering my team and nothing else matters. Man, I want to see good basketball, quality basketball. When the other team is good, I say they are good. So why I'm saying all this, Fox is behaved like he owns the Sacramento Kings. I mean, I apologize from my side, but so if we
doesn't he? Hold on, Baki, doesn't he? The owner always talks about, and to quote the owner, hey kid, I've got this fancy, beautiful palace. You want it to be yours? They shove that story in Sacramento's face, the fans' face.
Yep.
So it is his franchise.
Okay. So let's take a look at what will happen next. So no problem. We will finish the season very fast and no problem. So I want to say, if we lead 5-6 points, or if we have 5-6 points run, he is like, okay, let me get one more three, so it will kill them. If we are down by the score of SGA, Fox is like, okay, I'm gonna throw you the same back. So then at the end we ask ourselves, what is with Barnes? What is with with Keegan? Well, how do you expect everybody to get hot if only one player must touch the ball every possession? I mean, everybody will be.
A lot of truth
Of course,
to that.
everybody would be stone cold. Everybody would be stone. Remember that first half. Why do you think Ellis took 20 points? Because everybody was playing. Everybody. It was from the perfect game we got to the craziest game I ever see. So I don't know. That's my opinion. I mean, I'm not saying maybe I took too much against Fox sometimes. He's a great player. He's so talented. But in age of 26, he's not 20 years kid anymore. So let's do.
I've been
close
disappointed
like-
with some of his basketball IQ, meaning some of his decisions in his shot selection and time, clock, score.
Yeah,
I've been
absolutely.
disappointed with some of that, Baki. I got to be honest with you. I expect more from him in that department.
Guys, are
Yeah,
you
me too. Me too. Me too.
Are you-
26-year-olds, you must be. We already talk about it. If he is leader or not. Okay, he is not. But you should try to be. You're pulling the team great. Then you stop. You're trying to shoot the threes. You're doing no look passes all around. So of course Sabonis. You took Sabonis to 8 points. Nobody else. That's it.
Yeah.
So can I ask you guys a quick question then? Are you disappointed in Fox's basketball IQ because it was just bad basketball IQ, or are you frustrated because you know he knows better and it's a choice, you think?
It's a
Go,
great
Grant.
question. Baki, how would you answer that?
I will answer. I cannot, even all those years, I cannot judge about IQ that he possesses. He's great talent. If he is great talent, then IQ must be big. But those decisions that you remember, I say very often, he's having fun too much, and that's all I think about him. He's having too much fun and nothing more. Nothing more.
Yeah.
If he's
Baki?
maybe 20% only to be more serious, this team will be crazy.
Baki, appreciate you, buddy. Thank you very much for your call. You're awesome. We really appreciate your insight. Listen, Fox is a tremendous player.
Yes.
And I know we're critical of him at times, but that's because of the position he plays, and he is the franchise. And I guess the word is frustrated. Sometimes I'm frustrated with him sometimes because I go back to last year and I go back to the playoff series before he broke his finger, and he was playing at an absolutely elite level. Elite.
Efficient.
In every
Electric.
single category.
Yes.
And I see that from time to time during the regular season, but then I see the lulls and the decision making, and it makes me just go, what on earth, you know?
Yeah.
And again, I don't expect him to be great every quarter, every game. I mean, I don't. He's going to have some bad games. I'm okay with that. But his just degree of mistakes, I guess, has been a little alarming to me this year.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. And I don't know if it's because of, again, the cast around him and he's being told to dive when he's supposed to dodge or what, but it is troubling. And I hope they can figure it out. And Grant, besides identity, the other question that I think we have to answer too, and it's for another time, another show, but I'd like you to think about it, fan base to think about it. Do De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis make each other better?
I think that they do. Based on their, if you're in the analytically speaking, of course they do, because since Sabonis has arrived in Sacramento, Fox is a much better player, and Sabonis just broke a record for most double doubles, right? And everyone's talking about what a crime it is that he didn't make the All-Star team for the 4th year.
True.
So I think Sabonis is playing the best basketball of his career. And since Sabonis has arrived, Fox has played the best ball of his career. So that would tell me that they make each other better.
Okay, or I could go counter. He's having, speaking of Sabonis, the best year of his career, like you said, and still, De'Aaron, wouldn't you expect a little bit more, a little bit
I would.
something different? You know, like this is the best you're going to see Demonis Sabonis. I mean, to me, that's not just a De'Aaron Fox thing. This is like an urgency thing. That window is not going to stay open very long with Demonis
No.
playing that style.
All right. Hey, I want to tell you about Fosters and Paws. They are a group of passionate animal advocates. They do marvelous work, and they are looking for adopters, fosters. They are looking for donors. And right now, there are puppies available for adoption. So if you go to fostersandpaws.org/adopt, you can get a puppy. Again, that's fostersandpaws.org/adopt. Again, they are very passionate about what they do. They're phenomenal, and you can go and check it out. All right, don't forget tomorrow, 4:00, Jerry Reynolds. And then the next night, it's New Orleans. By the way, that score at halftime now with the Pelicans is 55-52. Portland is on top, and the Clippers are blowing out the Phoenix Suns. It's embarrassing, 66-33 at the half. The Clippers, they'll do it again tomorrow. But, again, so the math's pretty simple. If the Pelicans win tonight, the Kings have to go 3-0 and hope that the Pelicans lose 2 games.
Yep. Crazier things have happened this season.
Yep.
That is for sure, Napes.
All right, buddy. We're going to wrap it up tomorrow, 4:00. Jerry Reynolds. Rhino, good work today, buddy, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Napes.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your evening. Light the beam, maybe coming up for the